Welcome back now, and if you're just joining us, you're still on to the press, reaching you live from the Abuja studios of KAFTAN TV. We've read out quite a number of headlines before we went on that short break. Right about now, we're going to be analyzing some of those headlines we have read to you. And joining us in the studio this morning is Dr. Law Mefor. He is a lecturer and also a media consultant here. Welcome to the press this morning.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy family. Happy New Year, Nigerians.
Yeah. Wish you the same. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
Thank you very much once again. And very quickly now, the election year is upon us already. And I would say quite a lot has been happening. A lot is still bound to happen. And I think 2 days ago, the INEC released a detailed breakdown of the voters' distribution across the country, and Lagos State happened to have the highest number of registered voters, followed by Kano. But in my observation, beg your pardon, there seems to be a special attention on Kano. Like it seems more like there's a vested interest in Kano State with about 5.9 million votes. And this very headline on the front page of Daily Trust is saying, Tinubu Atiku Kwankwaso Obi scramble for Kano's 5.9 million votes. Why is Kano looking like the bride of this very forthcoming election?
Yeah, Kano as the beautiful bride, if you would accept that expression. Has always been so. And historically speaking, right from the days of Aminu Kano, Kano has always been a kind of a game changer. You have Kano taking very radical positions on general or presidential elections in Nigeria. For two essential reasons. One is their political behavior, as already underlined in my opening glade. But you also have more important, factors that you can bring into the formation to be able to find a kind of trajectory that will explain away that tendency. Kano, Number is everything in a presidential election. And if you consider the two conditions set out by the 1999 Constitution for the production of Nigerian president, you will see that number could be as significant as just one. The first condition is that you have to score 25% of the votes in at least 24 states. The second condition is that you have to score the simple majority. Simple majority here means just one vote.
Just one vote.
Once you score one vote over and above the next person, you are the winner. If you have established yourself on condition one, which is 25% in 24 states. Now, you have Kano with 5-point-something million votes. You discover that whoever has Kano is really in contention, seriously. And you see, of course, in this election, Kwankwaso has been able to assert himself in the equation. And because he was a former performing governor of Kano State, you cannot wish away his impact. His impact, because he has people on ground. Apart from his performance as governor, when he was the governor of Kano, you also see that he hasn't actually left the fray. He went on ahead to form what we call the Kwankwasia, movement. You see them with their red caps, just like this one, so slightly different in terms of formation.
White stripe.
But you can see that he has a whole army of people who believe in him that go by that name, Kwankwasia. That is why the presidential candidates who know the importance of Kano as a changer, as a swing state, in fact, as a former swing state in Nigeria, are concentrating on Kano, trying to see that they have at least a good slice of that vote.
Sorry to cut you short, Dr. Law. But can't that be said same for Lagos State, taking into consideration the
Lagos is far too cosmopolitan. You know, Lagos is the former Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, and therefore it is not an exclusive enclave of an ethnic group, not even that of the Yorubas, because the non-Yorubas in Lagos actually outnumber the Yorubas that are in Lagos. That's a fact. So if they are vested interests, which they carry over from their respective regions and zones, play out in Lagos, you cannot have a radically concentrated voting pattern in Lagos. It means that people from the east, west, everywhere would have to help in shaping the eventual outcome of the voting process in Lagos. This is a fact. Yes, someone like Tinubu is expected to win Lagos, but the margin may be just too marginal, going by what happened in the previous elections. If you recall, when someone like Jonathan was running with Buhari in 2015, the margin between PDP and PDP was very marginal. The difference was too small. So I expect that that would be much like it in this 2023. But in Kano, it's not like that. In Kano, you would see them voting consistently in a particular direction. That's the problem here. That's the difference between Lagos and Kano. So you see that though Kano has slightly lesser voting population, 5.7 for Kano and about 7.3 for Lagos. It's something for us to really put into consideration before we as pundits may be able to say that this is who would have what. But if you ask me, if Kwankwaso does not become dramatic in days to come, by, for example, withdrawing from the race, yes, because he can trade off. He can look at it that he does not have the required spread to win the election. So why don't you, join forces with somebody, swing that person's votes in his favor, and possibly get a win via that person. It becomes a kind of proxy war. He can. If, for example, he decides to join forces with Atiku, that becomes something serious. And, it resolves so much in favor of Atiku. Do you understand that? And these are the kind of realignments we expect would come in the next 1 month. So much will happen. And watch Kano, watch Kwankwaso. That's all I can say for now.
A lot has been said. Watch Kano and also watch Kwankwaso. And also quite a number of stories we have to discuss this morning. But another big story here that has been making the rounds since yesterday is the arrest of the former Director General of the Labour Party's presidential campaign, the person of Donye Okupe. He was arrested by the EFCC, by the DSS rather. But then more disturbing is the fact that though he has been released, but then according to a statement by the EFCC, they said he was arrested based on a 2016 watch list. Based on his name was in a watch list that had been put together since 2016. I mean, it brings up a lot of questions. I mean, this is a 2016 watch list. Why did it take you so long to take an action on it? Why did it take you? Why did it take the EFCC so long to act on this watch list? Because information has it that Donye Okupe has his passport has been seized by the DSS for a very long time, meaning he has been in Nigeria for quite some time. And why did it take them so long to act on this? And for any reason, if anybody has been taken off the watch list, there's the need to always keep this watch list updated from time to time.
Yes, 7 years after somebody's name was struck off the watch list is still there to cause not only the individual an embarrassment, but the entire country. I think it speaks volumes, and it doesn't really tell good of us as a people. Agencies like EFCC, DSS, they are so central to what you call a national political health, to the point that those who occupy, those essential agencies would have to be more than a jump ahead every other security agency in the country. I say so because much of what they do is what impacts on the nation, where it comes to international limelight. And the country has not really enjoyed the best of perception out there, in the world. And each time you allow this kind of slips to happen, you worsen an already bad image which you have already accumulated for yourself over the years. But again, you see, if you really look at EFCC, since its formation, I've never been personally impressed. I see EFCC more as a political tool, used to pursue political agendas. As far as I am concerned, it has always been there. It was one of the major legacies of the Obasanjo PDP administration. But even during the time of Obasanjo, EFCC dabbled into politics so much, to the point, for example, that they wanted to use EFCC to stop Atiku from contesting the election until courts came to the rescue of Atiku. So you can see that the work has always been politicized. No serious country, politicizes what we call national security, because the work of DSS, the work of EFCC, border on national security. They hog the media limelight. The Clegg light appears to be more important to them. So the trial in the media appears to be their primary objective. And that is why they have lost majority of their cases in the courts. Check the records. Ask them, you're a journalist, you can find out. Since your creation, how many cases have you charged to court? How many have you lost? How many have you won? You will discover that the ratio of lost cases, quashed cases, to the fully and conclusively prosecuted cases will pale into insignificance. You see that it goes to 2 to 3, 2 up to 3 is to 1, in terms of what is lost to what is really won or gained. So, but if the aim, as I often suspect, is that media trial, since they have already embarrassed you in the media, they have gained what they actually wanted. But that is not the primary objective for setting up the EFCC. We needed to fight, economic and political crime with it that border on clear sabotage on the nation's economy. That is what EFCC is set out to do. But it's not what they do. Look at even the methods of prosecution. You see them, the anti-corruption fight is not a fight at all. EFCC is carrying on also as if it's a revenue generation agency. It is not. You see, a country like Britain would spend £1 million to pursue a one penny case. Do you understand that? You see that it's not the money that is primary, it's their primary
but
aim.
the offense.
Deterrence. They want to deal with, you kill a fly with a sledgehammer. Not because of that particular fly, but because of others. That is what we expect EFCC to be doing, but that's not what they are doing. They practice what we call plea bargain. Plea bargain, if you understand the laws establishing plea bargain, EFCC has no right to enter into plea bargain without bringing it before the court. But they end many cases in their place. Do you understand that? You settle, you bring maybe part of the money and they let you off the hook. But if you ask a judge, ask a lawyer, if an agency of government has any right to enter into plea bargain without the judge being involved. Do you know why I say this? You know, the rule, I'm not a lawyer, but I have read substantial, aspect of law to know the basics. For you to go into plea bargain, the parties involved will have to agree. You know, the injured party particularly must agree that you go into the plea bargain. Do you get the point? So in the case of fight against corruption, who is the injured party? It's Nigeria and Nigerians. So who told them that it is our view that those who stole the country blind will have to be forgiven because they brought back part of the loot? That's not what we want. So it's a clear violation of that basic principle of plea bargain. So I don't believe in the processes, the approach of the EFCC. I am therefore not surprised that they would go out of their way to embarrass Doyin Okupe. You remember the way he left office as DG of the P2B campaign and all that. Even that, bringing up such a matter, against him now, forcing him out of the office when he was concentrating on helping P2B win, it's also not really right. You know why? If you convict Doyin Okupe, right, because he collected money from Sambo Dasuki. Sambo Dasuki that gave the money is walking around, walking the streets to free. So where is justice in all this? I don't get it. Nigeria is in a kind of market bar dance, dance of the absurd. You don't get the illogic involved in things we do. Somebody gave you money, you are guilty for collecting the money, but the person that gave you the money is not guilty. It's not even prosecuted. I want to be educated on the principles, the rationale that yield up that kind of logic.
All right, we'll have a caller on the line. We've had lots of callers, but we didn't want to break your thought there.
No problem.
Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on the press.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
I just want to contribute. It is David from Kafanchan.
Okay, please go ahead.
The federal government were very proud to announce 300 plus convicts of terrorists in 7 years. Let them subtract those escapees from various states. Is it an achievement?
Well, that's a good question. I think we'll get to that part of the conversation. Thank you so much for that.
He asks a very
fundamental question.
Very fundamental question, and I think it's a question that the relevant authorities, especially the president, the defense headquarters, need to really sit down and provide a suitable response to that question. Moving on now from...
We have a call on the line. Sorry to cut you short. Hello, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on the press.
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm calling to react to this program.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Like, for example, now, Dr. Law, he said something. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Good morning. I'm calling to react to this program.
Please, can you turn down the volume of the TV set?
Regarding Kano election.
Okay.
And I want him to understand that Konkoso is no longer a factor in Kano politics as it is now. And what I want you to understand is that Dr. Ibrahim Shakarud, the former governor of Kano State, is with Atiku. And so, whatever, the factor might turn out good for Atiku, because as it is, in 2003, Ibrahim Shakarud defeated Konkoso, and his re-election again, he defeated Konkoso. So I think Kano, it is for the three horses, both for PDP, APC, and the New Nigeria People's Party. But I think at the end of it all, Ibrahim Shakaru will have he did, because he's more underground, he's more grassroots than Konkoso and what have you. But just as Konkoso is being carried away, what the dressing and all of you. But the silent achiever in Kano State is Ibrahim Shakaru. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your contribution.
Yeah, I think I like that, and it's good he brought that perspective. I'm not from Kano, and but we read the signs from a distance. And yes, he could be right. Do you understand that? He could be right. There are silent achievers. Yes, there are silent achievers. And Shekau, from all intents and purposes, has often known how to spring surprises. So if he swings it in favor of Atiku in Kano, that is something, and it's a very strong possibility. And if Atiku takes a Kano, that's quite a chunk. If he takes Kano and goes on ahead to take Northwest, I don't see anybody that will stop Atiku from becoming the president.
All right, we have another caller on the line. Good morning, Elder Zion. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning,
Good morning, my brother.
Am I good senior brother? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my brother.
Thank you.
Please turn down the volume of your TV set so we can hear you better.
I can barely hear him.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, we can hear you better.
Okay. You see, about Congo case, Dr. Law.
Yes, sir.
What do you think with this? When they saw that Okupe was confiscated from taking money, and the person who gave him that money was not red. And the guys are asking, why can't the PDP as a major opposition party go to court to demand justice in this regard? Having said so, I'm still talking to Law, my good brother.
Yeah, I'm here.
You see, when you come to a meetup like this in the media, you used to speak well in favor of your people. But when you go out, PDP is not doing justice to Igbo people. They're scattering Igbos. They're supposed to build Igbos up, unite Igbos, so that any one of a person of Igbo extension this time around, we need the presidency. But we don't see you people in the PDP doing this. All it is a game of interest. The interest of Igbos is to produce the Nigerian president of Igbo extension. Please, Mr. Law, go do our work with your people. We love PDP. Let them join hands and produce something that you people, the God, bless us, bless Nigeria, bless KAFTAN, and all the staff in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you so much for your contribution.
You see, there's one thing I took away from what he has said, that we're not promoting my people enough. I don't know what that means. But I think I understand him to mean that I ought to be projecting P2B. P2B is not an Igbo project. It's a Nigerian project. Do you understand that? That is one thing. And then number two, I have a very clear and professed bias for the Atiku Okowa ticket. For simply three reasons. One is that it takes care of Igbo interests also. Okowa is an Igbo man from the Delta side. That is number one. Atiku, out of the three presidential candidates that are in the forefront, is the only one talking about restructuring. And for me, as a person, any person that is not talking about restructuring now will not be able to talk about it when he becomes president. That is why I told Ohaneze that, look, you need to negotiate with the 3 key presidential candidates, including Peter Obi. That Peter Obi is an Igbo man is not sufficient to guarantee that he will go for restructuring when he goes in. I think we're saying restructuring. That makes sense to me as a person. The number 3 reason is that Atiku is pushing for a private sector-driven economy. As an Igbo man, that's an economy for me. We are entrepreneurs. We are traders. We are into commerce and industry. That is, you can easily see the 3 issues that draw me close to Atiku Okowa ticket. You see, another reason, some people would say, you championed the campaign for Nigerian president of the Southeast or Igbo extraction. How come you are now championing the Atiku Okowa presidency? Well, I've already told you that Okowa is VP on that ticket, right? Yes, Atiku is not an Igbo man, but I see enough in Igbo interest embedded in that. More importantly, the Igbos in the 3 essential bodies that determined the person that would carry the PDP presidential ticket all voted that the ticket should be thrown open. The first committee was the committee by Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyim of Enugu State. That committee was on the zoning of the political party, the PDP political party offices. The committee recommended that the PDP national chairmanship should be taken to the north. But they refused to pay it with the PDP presidential ticket. If the Ugwuanyim committee insisted that, if South produces chairman, the other divide produces, there won't be this problem we're facing today. But they refused to do that. It didn't stop there. The PDP also set up the Samuel Oton committee. In that committee, every state was represented. In the 37-man committee, the 5 states of the Southeast were represented. They all voted that the PDP presidential ticket should be thrown open. I wasn't in that committee. I was not a representative, a delegate. I am from Anambra State. My state, Anambra, was represented by the former Minister of Health, Professor A.B.C. Nwosu. He too voted that the party should throw its presidential ticket open. Only yesterday I was reading that he resigned his position as PDP Board of Trustee member. I say it is belated. When you should have resigned, a protest was when you voted. When you voted that the ticket should be thrown open. When you voted that the ticket should be thrown open, you are invariably saying that the country, any part of the country could fly the flag. So why are you now protesting? After opening the door to gladiators like Atiku. If they insisted that the ticket must go south in the spirit of zoning, the zoning principle between North and South when it comes to presidency, there wouldn't have been any need for someone like Peter Obi to leave the PDP. But after zoning and opening the door to people like Atiku, do you understand that? They still hoped that they would get the ticket. How do you do that? The northern part of the country has more delegates to the PDP presidential primary. So even by mere voting, you are likely to lose. So why vote? Why did you vote that the ticket should be thrown open? Only to turn around to blame who? The Autumn that is talking about the South not being represented, he chaired the second committee. You chair the committee, and when you chair the committee, you didn't recommend that, look, the North, that the ticket should be thrown open, but whichever part of the country that takes the ticket, the other must automatically produce the national chairman. He didn't do that. And you turn around now to form the G5 governors to hound and hurt and they draw the chances of the political party, the PDP, diminish their chances of winning the presidential election. All these things. That is why people say that politics is a dirty game. But you know what I ask or say? I ask this question: is it politics that is a dirty game, or is it those who play the game of politics that are dirty?
All right, we'll have a caller on the line. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on the press.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Mr. Balagana.
Okay, please go ahead and make your contribution.
Okay, I want to talk on the First of all, because you are they are wearing white for that is uniform is a welcome development.
Thank you.
The two generals that we are wearing white.
Well, I'm not wearing white.
Uniform.
I hope you're wearing white too.
Yes, white is good and white is angel.
Thank you.
White is also Holy Spirit. I want to talk on this pastor that kidnapped Seth. That pastor that kidnapped and get money from members.
Yes.
Please pick up.
He's a fake pastor. He's a fake man of God. And I wonder what the members are still doing. That pastor is fake. The member of the church will leave the church because that is not called by God.
Thank you.
A satanic pastor. There's no true man of God that will do such a thing.
All right. Thank you so much for that contribution.
And I also want to talk on the banknote. This banknote by the civilians who are holding the new notes. This is one of the reasons why some people are saying it's politically motivated because banks are still issuing odd notes. Although some of the banks, they have new notes in the ATM, but they are giving directives that even at the counter, they should issue new notes. Many people are criticizing the policy that old notes should not be coming from the bank by this period.
Yes.
Because this month, the deadline by 31st. So why should government still issue odd notes? This is one of the reasons people say is that they're politically motivated. And when they are giving a rule now, they are saying new notes should be in the ATM machine. While by the contract it should be old notes. While the central bank gives us a directive. I also ask a question to that effect.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contributions. All right, now he quickly took us to where we're supposed to head to. The issue of the new notes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I will speak for myself. I've not seen that in circulation as it should. I don't think I've seen that up to more than twice, like in the hands of different people. Like in everyone that you come across every blessed day, I've not seen it more than twice with two different people. And we know, for instance, money circulates very well during the festive period. So with that amount of circulation, we still did not get to see the Naira note in the market. This is today is the 13th day of January. We have just like 17 days to the end of for the old note to phase out. Still, we don't have the new Naira note. Now, don't you think this has even defeated the aim of which the Naira note came into existence?
You know, beautiful policies in Nigeria have always been immersed in all manner of crises, all manner of controversies. In the politicization of policies it may not be the best approach. You see, Godwin MFLA of the central bank is the chief, monetary driver of the Nigerian economy. Because he is, CBN is in charge of the monetary affairs and policies of the country. And a policy like that, ought not to have any political connotation. But then you can see that even some CBN officials are saying that, look, the policy itself is necessary in order to take care of things like, money hoarding, and even a food trade. I agree with the policy generally. Let me say this. And where you have over 50% of the overall currency volume in a private vault, there is something fundamentally wrong with that. And if the purpose for storing or hoarding currency in that manner is to engage in vote buying, well, it becomes an economic policy. Because if there is no other way you can tackle it except this, then you follow that political process to get what you want. Because the whole idea is to really arrest the drift of the Naira. And Naira has been bastardized, rendered so weak against even local currencies you find in the West African sub-region. Naira is one of the weakest, and it's an embarrassment to us. So I agree with the MFLA. But again, you see, those who would suffer it politically, those I want to call the bullion van politicians, quote, right? No person, meant here. But what I mean is those who carry large volumes of money, to engage in vote trade, not even buy, It's a whole trade now. You know, to engage in vote trade will have to be tackled. And that is what this policy is trying to address. And I believe, if you notice, Emefiele was out of the country for 2 weeks, if not more, and came back only yesterday, I suppose. You know, his absence is part of the problem. He was away. He told us it was for health reasons. But we also know that he's also cooling off his head somewhere because the pressure has been so much. And he needed to even catch his breath. Doesn't need to die because he's CBN governor. And he cannot also quit. Don't forget, a group even went to court asking that you know he resigns.
Just
DSS also asked to be given an order to arrest the Mefor. You see, that order of the DSS, I have been looking at it. You see, the DSS ordinarily doesn't need to go to court to arrest anybody. The question is, why did they go to court for the arrest of Mefor? 2 reasons. One is that the position occupies, that the Mefor occupies, occupied by Mefor is very key in that decision they took. That if they take him out without certain procedures, it may have, serious consequence for the economy, even in the international arena. So that is one reason. And again, I also suspect that the Director General of the DSS doesn't want to act alone. He doesn't want to, he sort of parried it by transferring it to court. So give us the order. In other words, the DSS is saying that they want to act on the order of the court. And not out of their own discretion. So the DSS DG shelved his discretionary powers and transferred everything to the court. Justice Sofo said, look, my friend, you have not been coming here for this kind of thing. Why are you here now? Go and give me the authorization of the president. Because for somebody at that level, we need the president to be in the know that you want to take him out. And without that, I am returning the problem to you. Serve him and let him come here and defend himself. I agree with the DSS.
All right, now, Dr. Law, our time is fast spent now, but in 2 minutes, I want you to react to the INEC extension of the PVC's collection. A lot has been said by INEC and how they intended not to extend the collection, but looking at the number of PVCs that are yet to be collected, there's a 1 week extension. What's your take on this?
Summarily, you see, all the while, there are certain actions taken by INEC, that are not really necessary. The issue of PVC collection should go on even up to a date to the election. If you can collect your PVC, why not? Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Must there be a timetable for that? There shouldn't be. If a PVC is ready, you drop it, in the wards. The people can enter Okada if there's no taxi, go to the ward and collect. But of course, you see, the INEC is having certain peculiar problems. Manpower is one, funding is another. So they try to manage within available resources in terms of manpower, in terms of funding, because when you say people should continually, without any terminal date ceiling put on it, collect their PVCs, what you are saying is that there must be permanent staff whose their job it is to give that out. But it's not like that with INEC. They don't have such staff. That is why when they want to go into any election, they have to recruit ad hoc staff. Ad hoc staff is the staff you use to perform a particular duty and lay them off when you are done. That is what INEC does.
Thank you very much.
They don't have up to 30% of the kind of manpower that they need to really run INEC as an independent body.
Thank you very much, Dr. Law. It's been a wonderful time talking to you.
The pleasure is always mine.
Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
All right, and with that, we'll draw the curtain today on the press, reaching you live from the Abuja studios of KAFTAN Television. Like I said earlier, I am honored to be back on your screen. Thank you so much for watching.
Once again, I am honored to be back on your screen this morning. My name is Francis Adeni. You do also have a very nice weekend ahead of you.